Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, The Metaphysical Library. My name is Awhona, and in today's video I'm going to share all the books that I'll be reading in the month of August. And as you have noticed on my channel banner, in case if you visited my channel, on the channel banner I do have Magic Academia featuring on it. So this month would be all about middle grade reading about magic schools, and I am also participating in another readathon which is called Back to Schoolathon, which will be running from the 6th of August to the 13th of August on this particular channel, as well as on Kirby the Bookish Nurse's channel. I will post a link to her announcement videos as well as my TBR share videos in the description box below, should you be interested in participating as well. So do please join me further in this video. So this August is all dedicated to magic schools and therefore the theme Magic Academia. So I have chosen a few books and which belong to a particular series which I plan to complete this month. Now I'm not too sure whether I will be able to, but I definitely will try. And also some of these books are also featuring in the, or let's say I'm coupling them up with the Back to Schoolathon readathon. So I'll just get down to sharing the books. The first book is a series which I have over here, and this has been written by Manisha Anand. The first book is called The Assassin Nuns of Pistachio, and it's a hilarious book. And from the back of the book it reads as Nuns with Guns. When 11-year-old Anne is sent to live with the famous assassin nuns of Pistachio, she expects nothing less than a life of swashbuckling adventures and cobbled rescue missions. Instead, she meets a group of mild-mannered women who prefer souffles to sword fighting and haven't stepped out of their mountaintop abbey in years. After Anne discovers that there's something very nasty going on in Pistachio, she decides it's time the nuns lived up to their reputation. Armed with wooden spoons, gardening gloves, and a malfunctioning robot broom, can these unlikely heroes save the day? So that's the first book that I've chosen to read for this August. The second book that I have chosen to read, which also is part of my TBR for Back to Schoolathon, is called The Assassin Nuns and the Pirates of Peppercorn Bay. And this has also been written by the same author, Manisha Anand. And from the back of the book, it reads as, who knew that protecting the sleepy little town of Pistachio could be such hard work? Even heroes need a holiday. So Anne and the assassin nuns pack their bags and kitchen equipment and head off to the seemingly action-free Peppercorn Bay, where the only thing they are likely to attack is a plate of fish and chips. But Peppercorn Bay has a dubious history, and our unlikely bunch of habited superheroes have no choice but to confront it with a sword or two, please. So this is the second book. And this is actually a series. I am trying to acquire other series of Manisha Anand. She's actually an excellent writer, especially for middle grade. So let's see if I can acquire. I'll definitely share more books with you as and when I do. So the series which I've chosen to complete, middle grade series that is called The School of Good and Evil. Now this had been released much earlier and it has been written by Soman Chainani. However, it's only recently that I could complete the series. In fact, there's one book which is still yet to come next week. So and that I believe is part number 5. But anyway, I'll be sharing a bit about these books. So I will be completing these books, or let's say aiming to complete these books this particular month. So the first part is called The School for Good and Evil, One Witch Girl, One Princess, One Happily Never After. And this is also the book which is present on my TBR for back to school-a-thon. And from the back of the book it reads as: every 4 years, 2 children are stolen from Gavelton, never to return. Most children fear being taken to the school for good and evil, but not Sophie. She has dreamt all her life of being a princess and believes the school could be her chance. Her best friend Agatha has other ideas. When the 2 girls are taken, things don't quite go to Sophie's plan, because sometimes the princess and the witch, don't look like they do in fairy tales. So that is all about the first part, how they are kidnapped and taken away to this magic school in a forest. Now, I've not read about it, but I'm quite excited to start it as quickly as possible. So that will be the first book in the series. The second book in the series is called The School of Good and Evil, or The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes. And this is what the cover looks like. The cover is actually gorgeous. In fact, all the covers are gorgeous in this particular series. From the back of the book, it reads as: best friends Sophie and Agatha are back in Gavelton, living out their happily ever after. But Agatha is missing her prince. In a moment of weakness, she makes a wish, which once more opens the gates to the School for Good and Evil. Agatha and Sophie are sucked back into the world they escaped from, but everything has changed. War is brewing between the school for girls and the school for boys. Can this ever after end happily for anyone? So that is the second in the series. Now, the third in the series is called The School for Good and Evil, The Last Ever After. And as usual, the cover is gorgeous. And from the back of the book, it reads as: Sophie and Agatha thought their ending was sealed, and when they went their separate ways, but will their story be rewritten? With the girls apart, evil has taken over. The villains of the past have come back with a vengeance, and the forces of good are in deathly peril. Can anyone stand in the way of evil's dead reign, or deadly reign, and the last ever after of all? Action, adventure, laughter, romance, and more twists than ever before in this extraordinary conclusion to the School for Good and Evil series. So that will be part number 3. So part number 4 is The School for Good and Evil, Quests for Glory. This looks very interesting, and the cover has changed as well a bit. And from the back of the book, it reads as: before they can graduate, the students at the School for Good and Evil must complete a quest for glory, leaving the bounds of school on the biggest adventure of their lives. The quests are dangerous and unpredictable, and the stakes are high. If good and evil can't find a way to work together, can either side survive? Agatha, Tedros, and Sophie are back in this action-packed 4th adventure in the School for Good and Evil series. So that is the 4th book. Now, as I mentioned before, I have not been able to acquire the 5th book at the moment, but it will be expected next week. And I'll share the 6th and the last book with you, which is The School for Good and Evil, One True King. And the cover, or the nature of the cover, is changed as well, as you can see. And from the back of the book, it reads as: a new king of Camelot has been named, but 2 claim the crown. I'll just read that again. A new king of Camelot has been named, but 2 claim the crown. Only one is the true king, but who? Tedros and his rival must face King Arthur's last coronation test. 3 trials, 3 answers to find, a race to finish. The sword Excalibur will crown the winner and take the loser's head. Beyond good and evil, beyond ever afters, to the end of the ends, the tale of Sophie and Agatha comes to a dramatic conclusion in the 6th and final adventure in the best-selling series, School for Good and Evil. So that's the last of the series. Now, besides this, I am also part of the Dark Academia book club, and I will be reading the book Ninth House, which I'll be putting somewhere up over here. So that will be specifically for the Dark Academia book club. So that's all I have for today, and I will see you soon again next week with another video. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.